and welcome back to the End of the Fourth Football Podcast. It is me, your host, B-Hizzy, aka Brendan Hurst, and as always, I am joined by the Prez, Chris Mullaney. How are you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad. Week 9, this is the Week 9 preview show, and we are excited to get into it. I just, I can't believe that's just, well, for one thing is it's already November, and the next thing is it's Week 9, and, before we know it, the season's going to be over again. It's just sad. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, but then we can watch basketball.
True.
Then we can watch baseball.
Baseball, of course, that'll be in April. Yep. On the XFL is back next year, so we do get our football fix, of course.
Yeah.
The 8 teams were announced for that the other day, so that'll be a good laugh. But as we always do in our preview shows, we do have business to attend to. And I'm actually meant to get this up. Here it is now. So in week 8 on the pick'ems, it was a tough week for all of us. I went 8-7. That puts my record at 72, 50, and 1. On the scorching 6, I went 3-3, which makes me 23 and 25. And the locks, I got my lock right, and I was worried because when it was announced that Malik Willis would start, but then I remembered, it's just against the Texans. It's not a big deal. And I won on my lock, so I'm now 6-2. So Chris, you went 7-8 on the pick'ems, which means you're 63, 59, and 1. You're 19 and 29 on the scorching 6 because you went 2-4 last week. And you went 0-1 on your locks, which means you're 5-3. And the guests also went 7-8 on the pick'ems, which means they're 70 and 52 and 1. The guests went 3-3 on scorching 6, which means they are in the lead. It's 25 and 23, their record, and they got their lock wrong. They looked at the Bengals on Monday night, which means they fall to 5-3. So I'm in the lead in the pick'ems and the locks, which is good for me. I'm happy with that.
Well, it's all right. It's still
long
plenty of time.
Long season to go.
How many is it you're in front of me in the pick'ems? 7, innit?
9 on the pick'ems.
9.
So
9.
I need a disastrous week at one point. Maybe possibly 2.
Whoa. There's 8 weeks to go. 9 weeks to go.
That's it. Still a long time.
And we've still got the playoffs.
The playoffs will be a separate competition, so don't worry about that.
We're not having that as a separate competition. I'll add it in.
Okay, all right, fair enough. We'll keep it rolling. But we do have games to talk about this week, and it starts with the Thursday night football matchup between probably the best team in the league and the worst team in the league, which is the Eagles at the Texans. Eagles are currently favored by 14 points, which is obviously well out of the lock zone.
Can I not have it as a lock?
we did float the idea of potentially making because our rule for the locks is that they can't be favored by more than 6.5, so a touchdown essentially. But we were thinking of maybe workshopping that idea by changing it to you can lock them up, but they have to win by the spread or more. So if you wanted to lock up the Eagles on this one, they'd have to win by 14. And to be honest, that's a pretty safe lock. But I don't know about that one yet. But maybe keep it in the back pocket for now.
Yeah, it's a very. I don't know how they did this when they made the schedule up.
I think they probably just thought that the Eagles weren't going to be as good as they are.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they've worked the schedule, every Thursday night game apart from last week's been pretty awful.
2 weeks ago was all right.
I mean, Cardinals Saints was okay, but I mean, that would probably been better. See if it'd been 2 better quarterbacks. I mean, Kyler Murray, but then Andy Dalton. I mean, Andy Dalton's he's a safe guy, but he's not. You know, I mean, it's
not a superstar.
Yeah, you want your superstars every week on prime time.
Yeah. With this game, I mean, it just looks like a mismatch completely over the board. I don't know if there's much point speaking about it too much. Eagles are scoring 28 points per game. They're allowing 16.9, sorry. They've got 409.9 yards per game. And it's a really nice balance of run and passing. And they're only allowing 321.6 yards per game. Texans are essentially an inverse of that. They're scoring 16.6 points per game. They're allowing 22. They've got 307 yards per game, and they're allowing 414.4 yards per game. So, and then you just look at who's injured. Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins, Malik Collins, Desmond King, and Christian Harris, all questionable. And for the Eagles, it's really just Josiah Scott who could miss this one. He's questionable as of Sunday. So
it's one of those things that's like that. If the Eagles were going to lose, it'll be this week, and it's weird.
Yeah, it would be sod's law, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But there's no. I mean, there's more chance of Kerry dumping you. So
yeah,
we're going to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, never know that's going to happen tonight. I've
Well,
said that.
yeah, don't jinx it.
So I'm going to take the Eagles.
Yeah, to nobody's surprise, I'm going to take the Eagles. I was tempted to just write it for you, and we could just move on because I would assume, and I'm going to assume the guest will take it as well, but we shall see. Not really much to say about this one. Should be very, very comfortable. ESPN has a 16.4% chance of the Texans winning this one, so not looking too good in their favor. But we will keep going. Here's a really interesting matchup here. It's the Chargers against the Falcons in Atlanta.
Give me 2 seconds.
Is this going to be a scorcher?
Yes.
It's a scorcher.
Chargers minus 3.5.
Okay.
The 3.5 is where I was a wee bit swithery, but I just think the Chargers off a bye last week. Keenan Allen is meant to be back-ish. Mike Williams has filled in well. The running game's good enough. I think Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert's way better than Marcus Mariota. I think defense, I've got the Chargers as well. I just think that with Atlanta, they're very, although they're competitive, I don't see them winning this game at all.
No, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm taking the Falcons to win here, and I'm obviously taking the points. I just think that the Falcons are a very cohesive operation. Like I said in the review show, I think they use Marcus Mariota and their offense in a really, really smart way. They've got, they don't force him to throw the ball, and he made some good throws in that game against Carolina. 3 touchdown passes. He made some mistakes. He wasn't perfect, but they do use him in a very, very smart way. And his rushing ability is very, very underrated. I think Marcus Mariota is a sneaky candidate for maybe comeback player of the year or something like that, because I think he's been pretty decent. You look at his stats, they're not amazing. I'm not saying he will win comeback player of the year, but he's 112 or 178. He probably doesn't throw enough passes to win this award, but 1,432 passing yards, 10 touchdowns and 6 picks. With the receivers that they have, it's just it's nobody. They don't really have anybody.
It's London and nobody else.
Exactly, and Obviously London's a rookie. Pitts, sometimes he just goes missing. They don't get him involved. So,
and Zacchaeus,
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't get his name right when we did the separate reviews a couple of weeks ago. I couldn't remember the boy's name either. It was Zacchaeus something. But I mean, you look at the stats here. The Falcons are scoring more points per game than the Chargers are. They're scoring 25. The Chargers 23.4. Their defense is playing better. They're allowing 25.6. The Chargers are allowing 27 yards. It's similar. The Chargers do have more. It's 375.9 to 337.1. And the Falcons defense is allowing a lot more yards than the Chargers defense. But that being said, I just think that the Chargers are in a little bit of turmoil right now, as in, sometimes they can't get things going and they try and get a little bit cute with things. So I don't know. And I still think Keenan Allen's working his way back. Obviously they had the bye week. And
some guy took him in fantasy. I don't know who that was again.
Shut up. My only concern for the Falcons here is it looks like they could be down their top two corners, AJ Terrell and Rashad Fenton, and they lost. I think they lost quite a lot more players on Sunday against Carolina. They had a practice squad guy they brought up and he got injured, so they were pretty bare bones. Good thing is it's questionable; it's not doubtful or already ruled out. But it should be an interesting one. I like the look here, and I'm loving Falcons plus 3.5.
Okay.
And you're taking the Chargers, and I've lost my pen. Let me find my pen.
You had a pen.
I have a pen. I dropped it. I've got it now. So you're taking the Chargers there with the points. That's fine.
Yes.
All right. I think this could be a sneaky good matchup. I'm interested in it a lot.
I don't agree with the statistic you go in, because you were stats guy. I quite like that. You were stats guy. When you went so many yards passing allowed, doesn't really, for the Falcons, isn't going to count, because they had a freak game about 2 weeks ago when Joe Burrow threw for about 97,000 yards. And 9 touchdowns.
And that was when he was elite, but he's not anymore. So maybe it doesn't count. According to you. But yeah, if the Packers weren't on at 6, I'd probably pay some keen attention to this one. All right, we're making some good time here. There is only 13 games to talk about this week, because 6 teams are on bye, which is the most of any week in the season. It kind of alternates back and forth, but here's another interesting one here. It's the Dolphins at the Bears.
Dolphins minus 4.5.
Okay.
Now, the reason I'm taking the 4.5 is because who's in the Bears defense?
Yeah, exactly. They just got rid of Roquan Smith.
And they got rid of Robert Quinn.
And that's really it.
Dolphins have Waddle, they've got Hill, they've got Gesicki, no longer have Chase Edmonds. They have they've got Bradley Chubb joined their defense. They've got Raheem Mostert's the running back. Their quarterback's elite with a long name. You know, I think Tua Tagovailoa is having a fantastic year. Yeah,
very, very good. Let's just hope he's not got any long-term problems with the concussions. But he is having a very good year. And he's taking the next step, as we've said. We've kind of determined that he is now very much legitimate QB1.
Oh, definitely. I think, this is the first real year where he's had legitimate receivers. I mean, I know he's had Waddle and Gesicki, but see, when you only have 2 receivers, they just double team them and leave the other guy 1-on-1. And if the other guy can't get separation, you're snookered. And the running game is also helping him out. It's the only reason why I'm taking Dolphins minus the 4.5. I don't think the Bears are struggling.
Like I said, I think their offense looked really, really good last week. Scoring 29 points against this Cowboys defense, which is really good. They're and the mistakes weren't there from Justin Fields, like what we've kind of begun to expect from him to an extent in this Bears offense. Now, I still don't think they'll be able to protect him, and with the Dolphins pass rush, which has just only got better trading for Bradley Chubb, I think this is a big one for the Dolphins, and as such, I'll be taking the 4.5, and I'm going to lock him up as well.
Okay,
very happy with that. But you look at the stats, kind of on paper, it's pretty two similar teams. There's not many points per game in it. Dolphins 22.3, Bears 19.4. Dolphins allowing 24 points per game, Bears 22.6. Total yards per game, Dolphins a little bit more, 395 per game. Bears 338.9. And the points allowed are similar as well. Dolphins 376.1, Bears 354.9. And they can't stop the run either. So, when you couple that with a deadly passing attack, which they've been good against the pass, to be fair, but they're allowing 156 rushing yards per game, you'd have to say that, the Dolphins, will be able to find a way to win in this one, really, no matter what. Here, you just trust. Did Raheem Mostert get traded at the deadline?
Oh, don't
No,
say
it was
that.
Chase Edmonds. I'm talking rubbish.
Chase Edmonds, yeah.
Yeah. Raheem Mostert's their leading rusher anyway. He's got 452 yards and a touchdown on 101 carries so far. But I mean, the Bears' offense has been very good running the ball as well. But the Dolphins' defense has been good against the run, so it's going to be an interesting one. The matchup I want to see is can the Bears build on their offensive performance from last week, where Justin Fields wasn't coaxed into mistakes, and they kind of just were pretty competent, all things considered.
The only reason I'm thinking the Bears are going to struggle is if the Dolphins are great against the run.
Mm-hmm.
So bang, 2nd and 9, bang, 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
Need to throw. That's the only reason why Dolphins in the 4.5.
But I mean, at the same time, as you look at the Bears' offense the last 2 weeks, against the Cowboys, and they lost, but against the Patriots on the Monday night as well when they blew them out, and that was against a good defense as well. You could have optimism that the Bears could make a game of this, but I do think that the Dolphins will find a way, and that's why I'm taking them to lock it up.
Okay.
All right, then.
My lock this week is a scorcher.
Oh, interesting. Well, we'll keep going here. We have the Carolina Panthers at the Cincinnati Bengals, and for me here, the Bengals are they're on thin ice. All right.
This is Scorcher 3. All Scorchers this week are in the 6 o'clock window.
Okay.
Panthers plus 7.5.
Okay.
I've got to take that, surely. That's...
All right.
I'll let you go and then I'll go.
I've written that down. Yeah, so I have a lot of trust in Joe Burrow. You're thinking about the getting off the train. Is he elite? Is he not? I think you're maybe about to press the buzzer to open the doors and get off. But you look at the tier he's on, how well he's playing. He's kind of up there with how well Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are playing right now. You look at the numbers.
What the hell are you taking alcohol-wise, drugs-wise?
He's leading passer in the league right now. 2,329 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. The guy's been on a tear since week 2, right? He's been playing incredible. Yeah, he had a bad game against the Browns, all right? Okay, it happens. Your man Daniel Jones had a bad game against the Seahawks. So
yeah, but we've not to fight. We've not to fight.
No, that's why I said Daniel Jones and not Derek Carr. The thing that I find worrying mostly about Bengals offense here is that they just couldn't really find anything without Jamar Chase. Now, I'm not of the opinion that you have that Joe Burrow needs Jamar Chase to be elite. I don't think that's true, because we saw a lot of flashes before he got hurt in his rookie year where he was really good without Jamar Chase, obviously. And when the passing game can't go in, they can't run the ball. It's not working for them. Joe Mixon, 129 carries. He has 432 yards and 2 scores. And that's, for a running back of his caliber, that's not good enough. And I think they might have Samaje Perine behind him. But, this is down to the offensive line mostly, not being able to open holes for them, that kind of thing. So I like the Bengals in this one to win. But I think the Panthers keep it close because I think that they rally around PJ Walker. Things have obviously really, really changed since he came in. They got a win, against all odds, really. And they almost snuck out with another one against the Falcons last week. Whereas, the Bengals have been kind of a little bit wobbly. Making some things closer than they should have been. But the game against the Browns is the first time the Bengals defense has allowed a touchdown in the second half all year. Now, it was 3 in the second half, but that kind of thing makes me think it's just an anomaly. And when you look at the points, 23.3 per game, the defense is allowing 20.5. They're having 375 yards of offense, only allowing 347. It all points towards a Cincinnati, comfortable here. Carolina 19.8. You know, when you see kind of maybe lower than 20 points per game, that's a worry for me. That's the sign of a kind of bad offense. They're allowing 23.3, 314.9 yards they're gaining per game, and they're allowing 368.1. Think that with the way that, you know, the Bengals, the way the Panthers will keep this close is through the run game. Because the Bengals can't run and they also can't really stop it either. Now, neither can the Panthers, but I have more trust that the Panthers can deal with the run game, which Cincinnati don't have. The Bengals are allowing 125.6 rushing yards per game, and the Panthers are accumulating 110.5 rush yards per game. So with the way Chuba Hubbard's been operating, he's kind of seems like a man reborn after, you know, essentially being unleashed as the number one running back following Christian McCaffrey being traded away. And then Donta Foreman has obviously been a bit of a beast as well. That's a really nice 1-2 punch at running back. I don't think I would drop it much lower, to be honest, than we had when Christian McCaffrey was there, just because of his health concerns. So I'm taking the Bengals in this one, but I am going to take these points here. I think it'll be a kind of closer one. And you're taking the Panthers plus 7.5.
I'm taking the Panthers plus 7.5. Bengals win though.
Bengals win. Okay.
Bengals win. It's a tough one for me because Joe Burrow on Monday night didn't have his wee pal with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the offensive line couldn't stop Myles Garrett.
Yep.
Couldn't stop anybody getting to Joe Burrow.
But, I mean, you know, other than Brian Burns, who do the Panthers have?
That's the thing, though. But Brian Burns is the same caliber as Myles Garrett.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, with the way the Panthers' pass defense is quite good. You know, JC Horn's been pretty locked down, and he's still, I think, you know, through PFF, I think he's the top corner in the league this year. I just dropped my pen again.
Well, the way I see it, you can get stats to read whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can get stats to make Kirk Cousins look like Joe Montana
if
I really want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kirk Cousins is better than Aaron Rodgers. Let's look at his 6 o'clock window. No, you know what I mean? That's what
I know what you're saying, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but Bengals win. Joe Burrow is just a guy.
Come on, disrespect. Watch when he throws 4 touchdowns and, you know, 378 yards, and, you know, this is a pretty comfortable win for the Panthers. The Bengals. You know, you'll be back on it. You'll be like, oh, Joe Burrow's elite.
Yeah.
All right then. Here is, you know, potentially the Packers season on the line here. Packers taking on the Lions at Ford Field.
Packers minus, I got this at 9:30 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
2.5.
Okay.
Now, do you want me to go first?
You can go for it. Go first. On you go.
I'm worried about Green Bay slightly in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because their run defense is abysmal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can't stop a series of tissues. And honestly, I mean, Detroit are at home.
Yep.
So we're indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff's brilliant indoors.
Mm-hmm.
I just think I think the Packers have to win, because if they don't win, Matt LaFleur may as well just go to the GM and go, "There's my resignation, mate. I'm off." Because I mean, I saw a meme on Facebook earlier on today, and it was Aaron Rodgers wants a wide receiver, and somebody going, "No, no, no." That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, surely you've got a guy you've paid $50 million a year to, who is 50-50 on retirement. He'll not retire till he gets a second ring. And I'm just thinking, go and give him what he wants. There was millions of them out there. It wasn't like, you know, he was asking you to go and, you know, rob a bank. All he wanted was a wide receiver. There was one in Denver called Jerry Jeudy. There was one in Pittsburgh called Chase Claypool.
Well, the Packers were apparently in on Chase Claypool, but the Steelers thought that the Bears' second round pick would be higher than the Packers. and as such, they took that deal instead.
I can understand that deal, but I'm just thinking, if you look at history compared, Packers' fantastic history, great organization, well run, elite quarterback, missing a pal. He's not got his pal with him anymore. But Green Bay have to win. And I think the last few years, they've either blown out Detroit. I'm not counting the one at the end of last year because, I mean,
we weren't trying.
You're playing. I mean, who was actually playing? I mean, I think if I went name your top wideout, it would be wee guy in Rosette probably caught more passes.
Yeah,
I don't think that Aaron Rodgers can lose 5 in a row.
Yeah, it seems unfathomable to me. I think I agree with you. The Packers definitely need this one more. I think that the Lions are probably cooked. I like that word to describe a team which is done. I think they're cooked at 1-6. I don't think they're gonna really find. And I don't know if they'd probably be happy with that because they're right in the mix for they're right on there for the Bryce Young sweepstakes, and then that changes things around.
I think they will. I think the Lions will be competitive but tank because they're moving off Jared Goff.
I don't think that. I think this NFC North rivalry game, they're going to be up for it. They kind of always seem to play the Packers pretty hard, and they can figure things out. It just seems like the Packers could be missing a lot of key pieces here. Al Lazard questionable with the shoulder injury. Devondre Campbell, he's day to day apparently by Matt LaFleur. That seems to me he won't play in this one. Elton Jenkins, who's been, he's had a rough year. He's kind of bleeding dollars at this minute with what's going to be coming in his extension, with the way he's playing. He's questionable. Obviously, Christian Watson will be in the concussion protocol. That being said, the Packers can easily win this game. Like, if they stick with the game plan they had last week by the Bills, by extending drives, let Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon in spurts run the ball, bleed the clock, extend drives, and just keep things going here. Because the Lions have such a high-powered offense, but they can't stop anything. And even with the receivers the Packers have, Romeo Doubs and Samori Toure, he obviously caught his first touchdown last week. Who else have we got? We've got Amari Rodgers, Sammy Watkins hopefully might get more involved.
Tonyan, the tight end.
Yep, Tonyan as well. Aaron Jones is a threat, catching at the backfield. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like to me they're just going to try and get cute with it and might change it. So I think the Packers will win, and I'll take the 2.5 because it's just that number. But I think this may come down to maybe a 4 points at most.
I think with this game, Green Bay, what your quote there, and now I'm sorry, I'm just going to rip your quote to shreds. I like doing that. You make a good quote, and I just have to rip it now. You said the Packers could win this game. Oh, sorry. What was it? Could or should win this game?
They should win this game comfortably.
Right. They should have beat Washington. They should have beat Minnesota week 1. That was out the 1 o'clock window. It was 4:25 start. Later for Kirk. All the games that the Packers should win, they haven't.
Yeah.
But anyway, Packers for me, the 2.5 as well.
Yeah. I just looking at these stats here. The Lions, they have more positive and more negative. So, like in terms of, they're scoring more points, they're allowing more points, they've got more yards, they're allowing more yards. The Packers have been really good against the pass this year. Josh Allen, wasn't great on Sunday night. It was he made a good couple throws, and the run game kind of did most of the work. So I have faith to believe that the Packers will be able to deal with them in the air. It's just about, can they stop him on the ground? And I don't know. It's hard to see, but I think that the Packers will be able to make some throws. Aaron Rodgers will be able to make some throws in this one.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll be able to run the ball as well. So, yeah, like I say, Packers win, and I'll take the points just because it's close. But I think it'll be a pretty close game. Maybe
Okay.
we won't give a score for this one, but let's say I think 4 points maybe. All right, let's get into this next one. This is a pretty evenly matched one. This is two teams on a bad slide. We've got the Raiders going to Jacksonville to take on the Jags, and this is one game I thought, like, who do you pick for this one? Both teams just look dreadful.
Scorching 6 again.
Okay.
Raiders -1.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a chance to slate my guy before we move on.
I'm actually not, right. I laughed.
Oh.
I don't have anything against Derek Carr. My thing is with the Devontae Adams. I just think it's so funny, right? That he's jumped ship thinking it was going to be better in Las Vegas with a rookie head coach of Josh McDaniels, who's failed before. I guess with a quarterback that's never won a playoff game. I just can't understand why he thought it was better to turn his back on the team, if I'm quite honest. That's what I have a problem with Derek Carr. I don't think he's amazing, but I don't think he's bad. There's my thing right there. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't think that the Raiders could put up a goose egg like that again. I don't think that they'll be anywhere near as ineffective as they were. Jags defense is good, right? They're allowing 358.1 yards per game and only 19.8 points per game. And these are good numbers for this team. So, yeah, I think I have more trust in the Raiders offense. I think that Trevor Lawrence will have more success in this one as well. I think this one could be kind of high scoring, to be honest. I think that both teams just like, I don't know. It's I don't know how the way to put it. It's like the Raiders offense is floundering against the Jags defense, which is really good. And then the Jacksonville offense is really bad against the Raiders defense, which is quite bad. But yeah, I don't know. You look at you match up the units together, and it just, I don't know. Things point to a Jacksonville win in my books, but I don't trust them enough. I trust the Raiders more. That being said, they haven't won on the road so far this season, so it's a tough one. It's a tough one to pick. I don't like this one at all. I'm taking the Raiders to win.
Go for the Jags. Go on. Take the Jags.
No, I'm taking the Raiders to win here, and I'm gonna take the points just because it's close. But
and this is a tough week for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because I have Hunter Renfrow and I have Travis Etienne. I like Derek Carr. I like Trevor Lawrence.
The Jacksonville Jags are your team. How is this? I like Joe Burrow. I like Jalen Hurts. But the Packers going up against them, I want the Packers to win.
I want the Jags to win. That's the reason I have to take the Raiders. Because every week when I've done it and picked the Jags, they've lost. And every week when I've gone for their team, the Jags have won.
I think you're right with that, to be honest.
I should have done that, the 17 weeks the Jags are playing. We go 17-0.
17-0, yeah. For a team that just had so much optimism, going their way for with a 2-1 start, I think it was they had. Yeah. They just flounder like this. Okay, against the Eagles, they've lost their last 5. Against the Eagles, all right, fair enough. That's the best team in football. It makes a lot of sense. Against the Texans, that's unforgivable. You have to beat them. Colts, they were winning that game. It just got away from them. All right, I'll give them a pass for that. It's fair. Giants were on a roll, but I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars could have maybe snuck something with that one. And then the Broncos in London, who are
it's to do with the fact that Trevor Lawrence is making too many mistakes.
Yeah.
Too many mistakes. And it's not as if he's making... It's not like he's trying to throw the thing deep all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that throw on Sunday, the one that iced the game for Denver, all he's got... If I think it was the fourth quarter, it didn't have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, throw the thing away and live to fight another down. Don't try and make a throw that's not on.
Yeah, don't try and make it funky. Just, yeah.
Right. And as I said on my first show, run the football. There's nothing wrong with running the football and boring people. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me. If the Packers ran the thing 70 times on Sunday and ran it 70 times every single week, and Aaron Rodgers threw for 100 yards the whole season, I'm just picking a ridiculous figure.
Yeah.
But you get 17-0, you'd be happy with that.
Exactly. You would. And the Jags have been really good running the ball this year. They're 144.1 rush yards per game. And, the Raiders are allowing 108.6 rush yards per game.
So, because I want the Jags to win, mark me down for the Raiders.
It's fair enough. Yeah, I can't remember if I said it, but I'm taking the Raiders here with the 1.5. Maybe Devontae Adams will be a little bit less useless this week. Maybe get a little bit more than 1.4 fantasy points or something like that he got for somebody. So
I've got Hunter Renfrow.
Devontae Adams woke up feeling dangerous. 2 targets, 1 catch for -1 receiving yard.
Mr. Yeah. I am dangerous should be Mr. I am embarrassed. That was bad and getting worse.
All right, then. We'll go for a short break, and then when we're back, we'll hit the remainder of these games. So we have the Colts taking on the New England Patriots in Foxborough. What are we thinking here? The Colts are just a mess. The Patriots
Colts are a mess, but the Patriots are much better.
Yeah, I mean, they're a bit of a weird bunch. The Colts traded away Naheem Hines to the Browns, and they've got Zach Moss now, but that's not going to help Jonathan Taylor. Do you know what I mean? Like you know how you said, how does that help Trevor Lawrence? I was like, how does that help Jonathan Taylor?
That's a crap impersonation of me.
Now, no fighting.
I'm trying to work out who's going to win this.
It's a bad one. I'm right. Well, I'll get onto it in a second. Right, we'll put some numbers out here. Okay, so the Colts offense is putting out 16.1 points per game. Terrible. Okay, they're allowing 19.6 points per game. That's okay, but when the points per game is less than what they're allowing, that's not a good recipe. Patriots are scoring 22.1. They're allowing 20.4. Those are both decent. Yards per game, very similar. Colts edging it just 363.9 to 349.5. And yards allowed, again, the Colts just ahead, 335.5 to 368. Colts good against the pass this year, 215.5 pass yards allowed. And the thing is, they're just not like the Patriots are good against the pass as well, 242 yards per game. But the Colts can't run and they can't pass. So I don't know. To me, it points to a pretty easy Patriots win here. I actually may have locked them up if I thought about it, but no, I'm gonna take the Patriots here. I just think that the Colts can't really get much done on offense. Defense isn't much better, and the Patriots just seem to be just about getting there. You know, they had the blip against the Bears, but they've looked pretty solid or so over maybe the past couple. You know, at least 3 of the past games, 3 of the past 5. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, 4. They looked very good against the Packers.
I'm taking the Patriots only based on one part. Mac Jones I trust him more than I do Sam Ehlinger. That's it.
Yeah. It looks like the plan that he's going to be without Devontae Parker. It looks like he's questionable. And yeah, but I mean, he's not really done anything much this year anyway.
That reminds me, I need to sort out my fantasy team. That reminds me.
There you go. But yeah, I'm taking the Patriots here. This isn't a scorcher, so I suppose we'll just move on. This is like a bit of a humdinger, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's too many games at 6 p.m. and there's only 2 games in the late window. So
I know it's going to be red zone's going to be boring.
Yeah, not too happy with that. But here is another one, and this game's probably coming at the worst time for the Jets. This is against the Bills. It's in it's in New Jersey. um the Jets, I mean, I don't know, to be honest. They've I don't think they traded anybody away, or they didn't get anybody either, did they?
No, I don't think so.
No. I mean, we know what the Bills are. They're probably the second best team in the league, the best team in the AFC. And, aside from that blip against the Packers, they've been pretty much, and I suppose the Dolphins as well, they've been pretty much a perfect team so far this year.
That's the thing. It's been a who can stop Buffalo? Well, Philadelphia, maybe.
Mm.
And I mean, the Chiefs, maybe. And the reason that, I mean, aside from that one interception, those guys could have played 19 quarters. We would have watched every one of them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I just think that there's three teams in the NFL, and there's three teams in the NFL that can beat Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
the Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
and Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Buffalo can beat themselves because they'll either go overconfident, they'll deviate from game plans, etc., etc.
Kind of similar to what they did against the Dolphins in a way.
Yeah. Josh Allen could potentially get hurt. I mean,
Let's hope not.
No, of course not. A cornerback could knock the living crap out of Stephon Diggs. What Jared Alexander done in the tunnel, but beside the point. I'm Buffalo by at least 2 touchdowns here.
Yeah. I don't like, the Jets pass rush has been really, really good. The Jets defense as a whole has been amazing. They're allowing 19.9 points per game. Obviously not as good as Buffalo, but they're allowing only just a little bit more yards per game. They're allowing 328, and they're only allowing 108 rush yards per game. And I don't know if I trust the Bills' rush game. Now, luckily, they've got a quarterback who can throw it, no matter what. And Josh Allen, he can escape and run out and that kind of thing, and it'll be fine. So this game's definitely coming at the worst time, I think, for the Jets. I think if this is maybe 3 weeks earlier, this would possibly be a little bit, you'd feel a little bit more confident as a Jets fan, in my book.
Yeah.
But obviously losing Breece Hall for the season, we don't know what we're going to get from Michael Carter. We've not seen James Robinson really in a Jets uniform yet. If the Jets are going to win this one, Zach Wilson needs to be pretty much perfect. And I just don't know if they'll do that with the offensive line, for one thing. You looked at how the Bills essentially just swallowed up Aaron Rodgers last week because the offensive line just couldn't handle the Bills' pass rush, which has been so good. I think that the Jets' defense will keep it interesting, but I think the Bills will eventually pull it away. I wouldn't say 2 touchdowns. I think I'd like to say that the Bills are not immortal. They're not. We've seen them. They're not. I thought they were pretty sloppy against the Packers, and I think that they may squander this a 13-point spread. I would say maybe by 10. I'd say I'll take the Bills. So not much in it, but I'm going to take the Bills here. I'm going to take them to win.
Okay.
All right then. You would like to introduce the next game, so when you go,
we're going to have the 4-4 Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Up against the other undefeated team in the league, the Minnesota Vikings at 6-0.
Are they undefeated, really? Oh yeah, because that game against the Eagles doesn't count because it wasn't at 1:00 on a Sunday. That's right.
Yes, it was Monday. I don't know about anything about Monday nights.
No, it doesn't count in my book, as you see on Twitter.
I couldn't resist that one.
Yeah. I'm just putting that down because you told me that the Vikings were your lock here. Spoilers, but we'll take it. Yeah, I mean, The Commanders obviously improved. I think they've won their last 3 in a row, which, not been against great teams. Games they should have really won, I think, to be honest, anyway. And, you look at these numbers, 17.8 points per game. They're allowing 21.5. The yards per game they're getting, this is why I don't trust Minnesota that much, other than to win the division, are very similar. This Commanders offense is very anemic, and really, I think it's only come alive the last couple of weeks because Terry McLaurin's just managed to figure out that, I am a top 5 wide receiver in this league, and I can make it work with anybody who's under center. The Vikings are getting 361.4 yards per game. The Commanders 350. The Vikings defense is allowing 401.6 yards per game. And the Commanders defense, which we all say is rubbish, and I mean, to be honest, it is. Who could you name a guy on that defense? They just traded away William Jackson to the Steelers, who, I mean, that's not a very big move anyway, but they were allowing 300. Montez Sweat, but I mean, that's set. Chase Young's not going to play in this one.
The only reason I know that is because on the Thursday night they played the Bears. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
That's a concern to me. I knew the Vikings defense was a bit of a problem, but I didn't expect it to be giving up this many yards. Eventually that's going to come back to bite them, but eventually they're going to be on the wrong side of one of these games, these scorelines, because of the defense letting them down. It's just the law of averages and the way things work out. I mean, they're still going to win the division.
This is
the last scorcher, yeah.
Minus 3.5 Vikes.
Yeah. So I mean, they're going to win the division. But that defensive play, and we've seen over the years the Vikings have made many numerous fantastical collapses towards the end of the year. That won't happen this year, but like I say, I wouldn't put my money on them to welcome in a team like the Cowboys or the Giants or the 49ers or the Seahawks or
at 1 o'clock it's fine.
Yeah, 1 o'clock maybe, but in the playoffs, you know what I mean? When, maybe it just gets a little bit too loud for Kirk and the defense can't bail him out. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But from what I've seen, they're 6-1. They're a 6-1 team that should probably maybe be 4-3. That's maybe being a little bit harsh. Maybe 5-2 is probably what their real record is. I think they should have been beaten by the Lions for one thing. I mean, possibly, actually, I don't think 4-3 is a bad deal here. They should have been beaten by the Bears as well.
The 6-0 Vikings are brilliant. Kirk Cousins is elite. He has 2 great receivers in Jefferson and Thielen. Only if Jeff Jefferson could find, that purple thing at the end. It's got Vikings written on it.
They just added TJ Hawkinson as well. I like that move. Don't know if he'll play in this one, but
they've added TJ Hawkinson. Their offensive line's okay. Their running game's okay. The defense is worrying. That's the worry. But Vikings for a win. Vikings to cover the 3.5, and of course, as we said, locking them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I'll take the Vikings and I'll take the points there as well. They're not my lock, obviously, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think that if the Packers weren't so bad this year, the Vikings could maybe have a bit more of a challenge on their hands for this division. I think they're probably a 4-3 team in a 6-1 team's suit, shall we say? Yeah, well, kind of like and Kirk Cousins has said this. We've said this on the podcast. They've been like. It's kind of an inverse of last year where, they're playing so well last year, but they're losing. Whereas this year, they're not being super convincing. I mean, against the Cardinals, I said it could have been sweet. That could have been a really sweet statement victory to just, essentially say, yeah, you can't mess with us this year. We are the real deal. And they let them stick around. And that's a concern to me. You let teams stick around, no matter how you perceive them, eventually a team will punish you for that. And if you're letting teams accumulate this many yards, against you, teams are going to punish you for that.
Yep.
Like the Vikings could be 6-1 right now. Right, yeah, they are, fair enough. But do you give them a shot against the Bills? I don't think so.
At 1 o'clock, yes.
Is it not the Thanksgiving game? Or is that the Patriots? I think that's the
It's
Patriots, isn't it? Yeah.
Patriots, yeah.
Well, I mean, regardless, you know what I mean? I don't give them a shot against the Bills, but this isn't the Bills game. This is the Commanders game, and
Exactly.
Taylor Heineke will not be grabbing some purple and white or yellow or whatever it is, Jordans this time around.
Yes.
All right, then let's move on to the 9:05 games. We've got the Seahawks against the Cardinals. This is the second time these teams are playing each other in 4 weeks. Yeah.
Do you want to go or shall I go?
You can go. Oh, it's the Cardinals are a soft spot for you.
Cardinals have to win or the season's done.
Yeah. Crazy. I feel like we've been saying that for a while, and they just seem to find a way to stick around.
Yes. The Cardinals are still in the hunt for the division because the rest of the division's crap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I watched Good Morning Football earlier on, and is it Peter Schrager?
Mm-hmm.
Says, who the hell wants to tackle Kenneth Walker?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it used to be who wants to tackle Derrick Henry. Well, who wants to tackle Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, he didn't have a great game last week, but I mean, he is their leading rusher, and he's only been their top running back for what, 3-4 games. So
I just think that if the last time they played each other, though, there was no DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This time there is DeAndre. I think the Cardinals have to win.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Cardinals win, it will burst the Seattle bubble.
Potentially. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take the Cardinals to win. I know you've got the numbers there that are all going to point to a Seahawks win.
I mean, I don't know, because it's two very evenly matched teams. The points per game for the Seahawks 26.3. The points allowed per game by the Cardinals is 26.3. So you can expect that. The Cardinals are scoring 22.8 points per game. The Seahawks defense is allowing 24.9. Yards per game, there's literally not much in this for both teams. 371.3 yards per game for the Seahawks, 367 yards per game for the Cardinals. And the defense is, again, not much in it. Seahawks are allowing 395.4, and the Cardinals are allowing 377 yards. Sorry. The deal here is the Seahawks can run the ball. They can't stop the run. The Cardinals are decent at running the ball. They're decent at stopping the run. So it comes down to which quarterback could really make a throw here. And I think with DeAndre Hopkins back in the picture, I think it makes things a little bit different for Arizona. I think they're not going to put up 9 points again, for one thing, and be essentially hopeless on offense. I like the Seahawks in this one. I think that they're just on too much of a roll. There's a lot of cohesion here, and I think they win this one. I think you're right. I think the Arizona Cardinals can't win the division at that point, because not only are they 3 games back on the Seahawks in terms of record, but the Seahawks have got a 2-game tiebreaker on them. So they're essentially 5 games out from the Seahawks, unless the Seahawks have an almighty collapse, which is possible. But it means the Cardinals need to capitalize, and from what I've seen from them, I don't know if they'll be able to. They've lost 3 of their last 5. Seahawks have won 4 of their last 5. I think it'll be close. I don't think it'll look as unconvincing as they were last time. We'll give a score for this one. How about that? I'm taking the Seahawks to win, and I'll take, how about 23-20 Seahawks.
Okay. I'm going to go 21-17 Cards.
Okay, that's nice. Nice one. This is a nice one. I think I actually may watch this game when I've finished with the Packers game, when that's over, because it's very interesting, because I like Kyler. I think the Cardinals can be interesting. I like Eno Benjamin. I like Geno Smith.
When the Packers is over, because the Packers game over at half.
I mean, let's hope so in terms of for Green Bay. But yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks here, and should be a good one. We've got a few disagreements this week, it's good to see. I say that that's our second. That's better than none. It means you can come back into it, maybe.
With a 13-0 performance this week.
All right. All right, then. Let's hit the other later game. I mean, this is who would have expected this game to be such a humdinger?
Rams and the Bucks.
Rams and the Bucks. Just two teams which have struggled so mightily, considering they were both in the playoffs last year with such a division winners. They played against each other. It was so good. But Matthew Stafford has more interceptions than picks this year. Tom Brady is dealing with personal stuff, and it's sad. It's really sad. Knowing that you'll look up in the stands and knowing that his wife that he was with for that so many years, and his kids are not going to be there to watch the game. That's got to be tough to process. And is it a big factor? Is the fact that he's only thrown 9 touchdown passes this year? He has only 1 pick. So through 9 weeks, 1 interception. That's not bad. And he has thrown for over 2,000 yards.
Can I give a score? You don't just mark it down, but you don't have to give one.
Okay.
Because what you've just said there, 38-35. I don't know who's going to win. 38-35.
All right.
It's just because you've said it's going to be a humdinger.
Yeah, I think so. It's one. There's 3 games this week which I think were kind of humdingers to pick. This is the last one. The Rams may be without Cooper Kupp, and you just wonder, are they going to be able to recover from that? I just don't think they get anybody. Cam Akers didn't get traded after all that, so maybe he comes back into the mix, but he is questionable. I feel like the Rams need a spark in the run game. With obviously they had Ronnie Rivers and Malcolm Brown alongside Darrell Henderson last week, which obviously contributed to less than 50 yards rushing between the 3 of them. So maybe Cam Akers comes back into the mix, maybe gives them a bit of a thing on the ground. But I mean, neither of these teams can run the ball.
No.
I think it's the 2 worst rushing attacks in the league. They're both under 70 yards rushing. The Rams are 68.4 rush yards per game. The Buccaneers are 61.9. The Rams are good against the run, 105.1. The Buccaneers are allowing 132.4 rush yards per game. But when neither team can run, it doesn't matter. And when it comes down to which quarterback you trust to make the throw. And I trust Tom Brady to not make a mistake. That's what I don't know if he can make the throw, but I trust him not to make mistakes right now. So I'll take the Bucs to win this one. I think that their offense has been meh. Their defense has been good, all things considered. You look at it, they've allowed. Still, that's kind of a lot of points. They have lost 3 in a row. Does Tom Brady lose 4 in a row? I don't think so. I said that about 3 in a row, but this is it really. I think this is the Buccaneers on the line here. They fought a 3-6 with I have the Falcons winning. I don't know if the Buccaneers can come back from that, and it really sets the tone. Is if not now, we have been saying for weeks the Buccaneers are going to get going. If not now, then when? Because this Rams team's there for the taking, and it feels like this should be a nice win for the Buccaneers to get back on track.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to take the Bucs because of what you've just said.
Mm-hmm.
Means if it's wrong, I can blame you.
Exactly. No, the Buccaneers are on their last chance for me. I think I've got to start picking. I don't actually think I picked against them this year, so maybe I should start. Not that it really matters to me. I'm just saying. But yeah, it would be. I don't know. Like, as much as I have not liked Tom Brady through the years of me following the NFL, I think it would be sad for his last year to go out in such a way where he doesn't make the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? That's like when LeBron doesn't make the playoffs. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's really the point in watching? Because his fans want to see him win, his haters want to see him lose. And I think the NFL knows that as well. So.
Yes, of course. That's why Deshaun Watson's coming back in week 13 and not week 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he didn't want him on the same field as Brady. That was it.
Yeah. Could be the case. All right then. Well, let's dive into this Sunday Night Football. No guest, but we'll maybe get them on for the review show.
This is a tough one.
It's Titans Chiefs. We should probably say that.
Sorry, yeah, just a tough one. The Titans are very one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Titans playbook. Mike Vrabel's going to kill me for releasing it, but this is the Titans playbook. 17, turn round, 22, run straight. That's it.
And it works. That's the thing. I mean, they've been, Derrick Henry's really come into his own the last couple of weeks, but they're now getting 138 rush yards per game. The Chiefs defense has been good against the run, though. It's 92 yards. The spread in this one is, do you know what it is? ESPN has it at the Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites.
12.5.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just down to the fact they still think that Malik Willis could start this one, which makes me think, we said Ryan Tannehill missed the last game with an injury, with an illness, but he did get hurt in the Colts game, I think it was, an ankle injury. So, I trust the, I trust the Titans could keep this close. If Tannehill's playing. They have also won their last 5 in a row, which, and they've not been great, but they've been efficient. Their defense has been really good. They've allowed 10 points, 17, and 22 points in the less than 22 or less points in the last 5 games allowed is that's a really good metric. That's because 22, I feel like 23 is a good number to aim for an offense, maybe similar to I feel like 23 points could probably win you a decent amount of games. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you can allow less than 22 points, I feel like that's a good place to be. So that being said, this Chiefs offense is ridiculous. 415.7 yards per game. Patrick Mahomes is throwing for almost double what the Chiefs are the Titans are throwing for. The 31.9 points per game. The Titans offense is just 18.9 points per game. They get 303.4 yards. Yeah, the baseline across all offenses in the league now is you got to get 300 yards. It used to be 200 yards not 10 years ago. Now it's 300 yards. If you're not getting 300 yards in a game, it's bad. And to be honest, if you're not getting more than 300 yards, that's a problem. And if you're just barely getting more than 300 yards, it's still a problem. We say 300 yards the baseline. To be honest, probably more like 350 with the way everything goes in favor for the offense right now.
Yep.
So, both run defenses are very good. Titans are allowing 89.1 rush yards per game. We said the Chiefs are only allowing 92 yards rush yards per game. So it comes down to who makes the throw. And if Ryan Tannehill's not playing, this could be a walkover for the Chiefs, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'm taking the Chiefs here.
I'll be watching every snap.
Yes, I will be as well, because as of Sunday, I'm on holiday for 2.5 weeks. So I'm happy with that. I don't have to worry about getting up early.
Holidays are for wimps.
I'll remember that. When you get some annual leave.
I'm on annual leave the week, 9th of December.
I thought holidays were for wimps.
Yeah, but that's my Christmas shopping week.
Ah, okay. I'm assuming you're going to take the Chiefs here as well.
Yes.
I mean, they're as healthy as they can be. Mike Dana, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. Mike Dana is really the only one in the injury report. He's questionable. I don't see how the Titans really win this one, especially if Tannehill's not playing.
I'll let Mike Dana know to listen to the show.
What's that?
I'll let Mike Dana know to listen.
We have one constant listener from America every episode. You think he's always our first. Odds on that's Mike Dana. Hello, Mike Dana. That's no context, Brandon, right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you take the Chiefs here. All right then. Sunday Night Football preview done. Last game of the week, 13th game. This is Monday Night Football, where the Baltimore Ravens head to New Orleans to take on the Saints.
They're gonna get smacked.
The Saints?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not putting 24 points up and a goose egg.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number 8 is elite.
Mm-hmm. They're just out so many
Number
weapons. Rashad Bateman's not going to play. Mark Andrews questionable. And you've got to say, being a tight end, the shoulder injury makes me think, yeah, he's not playing in this one. Who's Lamar going to throw to?
Himself. He'll run.
Mm-hmm. They're going to line up exclusively in the shotgun, and he'll just be thrown into himself every play.
Yeah, he's going to turn around, he's going to throw it up in the air, and then he's going to run after it. This game could be a boring Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
But my loyalty cards getting stamped again.
No, I still like the sound of this one. I won't lie.
It's one of those games. It could be boring. It could be a classic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I think. I mean, I'm going to give the Chiefs a bit of credit. Sorry, the Chiefs, the Saints, a bit of credit for giving us a good Thursday night game we had a couple weeks ago. Lamar Jackson, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions this year, 1,600 passing yards. We know that he's declined in play. He's the running leader, but I mean, he's only taken off 75 times this year, in 9 games, which is less than 10 times a game. And you think, you know, maybe he's protecting himself. We know he still doesn't have that contract yet. All right. And he's got to be protecting himself. But when it's such a massive strength, if you want to play for the team and get them into a good place, like nothing says more than, like, you know, you want to get paid, win us a Super Bowl, right? You've got you got a blank check with a 5, 6, 7, 8 year length on it right there. It's like a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because, well, you want to bank in that money, and you want to win a ring, and you want to, to get the money, you would help your case by winning the ring. It's the same time as if he was to get hurt, like say he tears his ACL, his run game for the rest of his career now is not as effective. It's just the way the human body goes, no matter how good the surgeries are nowadays. Whereas, 25, 30 years ago, an ACL tear, that's it, your career's over. Nowadays, we touch wood, this doesn't happen to Lamar Jackson, but he'll still be able to play. He'll come back. He'll be fine. But that takes, even a 5% deficit on his maximum ability to run the ball. And that could change it. He maybe loses just a step and he gets caught a little bit more often when he's running,
Mm-hmm. I can't see the Saints winning this because I've watched them as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Against the Cardinals, Andy Dalton made stupid throws.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Last week, the Raiders couldn't get going. So I don't want to give the Saints credit here because I don't like Andy Dalton. I really don't. I think...
Is it because he's ginger?
I have nothing against gingers. Nothing against ginger. Red Rifle, but...
Red Rifle.
It's going to be a hard one. I'm going to take the Raiders. The Ravens.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens here as well. I think it'll be tight. I think that the Saints defense is on a confidence boost. Obviously, not allowing a goose egg in the last game. They're allowing 25 points per game. The Ravens are scoring 26 points per game. The Saints defense is allowing 338.3 yards per game. Ravens defense 383.1 yards per game, and they're only allowing 97.5 rush yards per game. And the strength of the Saints is running the ball. And Alvin Kamara diving, he had a great game last week. Who were they playing last week? The Raiders. Yeah, he had a great game. But when the Ravens front is good against the run, you just Andy Dalton to make the throws. I don't know if you do. Maybe in 2015 when he's got prime AJ Green and is it TJ Hushmanzada, that kind of thing. But Jarvis Landry, who's obviously not made an impact at all. Michael Thomas again. Chris Olave, he's been good at times. But I mean, it's hard, and they might be without Marshawn Lattimore as well, who's questionable. Not to say the Ravens aren't beaten up as well, but I just think Lamar makes the play with his legs, and I'll take the Ravens here as well.
Yep.
Yeah. All right then. Well, that does it. That's the shortest number of games we'll have to cover in a week. So it kind of goes up from here. I think that we should have a mid-season bonus show, most likely next week, after the review show. So maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week we'll have shows. Perhaps we'll see. We'll speak off air, Chris. I'm a sneeze. Or I don't think so. Possibly, you were talking about we're going to review the the draft picks. I think we should review our predictions, maybe a prediction revision, something like that.
Okay.
Re-prediction revision. I don't know, something like that. It won't be overtime. I think it'll be a fully fledged show. And we'll add a bonus show for that. Next week, well, we could say this, and I'll say this again in the review show. There will be no video show next week. It'll just be audio only. So make sure you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever. But I'll say this again in the review show. But that's it from us. So check us out on Facebook, which is End of the Fourth Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, which is End of the Fourth Pod. On Twitter, it's the same thing, but instead of the word fourth, it's 4TH, which is End of the Fourth Pod. Check out the Let's Talk Sports Network. They're at Let Talk Sport on Twitter, and you can find them on YouTube as well, where they go live every day with shows on the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, association football, rugby, cricket, running, gymnastics, water polo. I don't know. You want your own show on water polo, give Dan a call and he'll accommodate for you. But
what do you know about water polo?
Well, actually, I really, really like water polo. Like, see, when the Olympics roll around, it's very much like the sport I like to watch. I just think it's, because it's such an athletic feat to be able to, because obviously you can't touch the pool floor. You're kicking all game to stay afloat. I just think it's an achievement. It's such a sport to watch. It's like, I don't know.
I'm going to contact Dan and see if he'll let me do beach volleyball.
Yeah, beach volleyball, something like that, or beach soccer.
Yeah, I quite like the men at beach volleyball.
I don't blame you. What else was I going to say? I actually still need to message Dan about this other show idea about doing, but that will be after I'm back from America. So still got to workshop that. Still going to figure some things out, but I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from the Prez.
Yep.
And from me, B-Hizzy. Ciao for now.